What's happening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Final Third. It is me, Sam, aka FIFA Brit, and I am joined by Mr. Brad Thomas. Brad, it's a special day because for the first time in 4 months, first half shots are back on
Dude.
FanDuel. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know. I didn't even find out myself. I was just like, I was working, and
Yeah.
then I just saw like 10 tags in Discord, and I was like, what the fuck? Is someone like troll? I was like, is someone trolling me? What's going on? So I opened up Discord, and everyone was like, they're back, they're back, they're back. And I was like, guys, don't fuck with me, don't fuck with me. So I went to check on the Europa page, and sure enough, there they were, first half shots, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I always thought they would come back. I'd never ruled it out
I
because
ruled it out.
they've taken them away. I said this at the time. I was like, they've taken them away before. Like, we used to have them for so many things, and then they all got taken away apart from like the Premier League, Champions League, and that was basically it. Like they got rid of La Liga, they got rid of Bundesliga. Like, we used to get it for every Bundesliga game, every Ligue 1 game. Like, we got it for everything. And then, like, randomly, about a year ago, I think it was like January or February 2024, they added it back for La Liga, and I was like, oh shit, it's back. Let's fucking go. But we never got it back for anything else. So
Yeah.
I hadn't totally ruled it out. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to assume it's not coming back. But it might. They might bring it back for the big stuff. And yeah, sure enough, we got it back for Europa League today. And more importantly, we've got it for the Premier League this weekend.
It's funny because I like feel like I have to change my mindset. I thought it was gone forever, you know?
Yeah.
But have you done like a dive into are the odds similar? I only bet the
Yes.
Pellegrini one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was kind of worried they would be like horrific because, Bet365 is the only other book, I think, like at least in America, that does them, and their odds are like dog shit. It's like horrifically bad. But I looked, and they're actually pretty good. Nothing is like noticeably shit.
Yeah.
So
That's
I think we still need to see like the full extent of what's getting added back. Like, so far, I've only seen it for the Prem. I haven't seen it for La Liga or anything else. But like, honestly, that's all I need.
Yeah, dude.
Give me like I don't even get the MLS like shots tab in New York anyway on FanDuel. So like I never had that. So I'm not missing that, even though I don't think they've added it back for the MLS either. But like, if you give me the Premier League, the Champions League, and a couple of Europa League games, that's all I need. That's fine. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Love right there.
I know. I'm so hyped. I've locked in so many for this weekend of Premier League action. Like, it's like almost unhealthy. But I think I've laid like 5 units of action already.
Dude, like, this is exciting.
They're all good. They're all so tempting. They're all so tempting.
I saw you post on there, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, if I wasn't freaking having like the worst headache, I would have already dove in. I was like, it took everything in my power just to do one game.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was so excited. I mean, like, it's amazing. And then I had a great day today as well. And I was just like so happy. Like, I can't pronounce his name. It's like Shmermadov or whatever for Roma. Yeah, that guy. His 2 first half shots were plus 180. And he doesn't start that many games, but when he does start, he's like a great target guy. He's tall, and he likes to rip shots. And he got 2, and I think they were both on headers. So I was just like,
they were both on headers.
That's all I need. Meanwhile, your ass bet on Pellegrini, who's pulling up from like 30 yards away, which I also love.
What I love about the first half shots too is like, especially on guys like big guys or the target guys, is like the shot that has 0 chance of going in and it counts. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, let's go. I can't believe I got plus 170, plus 180 for this.
Yeah. That's why I love the shots market in general. Like, obviously, like, I was drawn to first half shots because you're guaranteed 45 minutes. Unless someone gets hurt, there's no one's getting subbed tactically in the first half. It's just, unless it's like a red card or an injury. Like, it's just not happening. In a normal game, you're getting 45 minutes, and there's like, you don't get that certainty with full game props. So I was always drawn to the first half market because you know what you're getting for the most part, and you can lock them in without, before lineups, because if they don't start, then it would
You need a
only be a
void.
loss if
That's
they
what's
sub
really
in.
nice.
Exactly. Like unless they sub it in the first half, which again, not happening unless there's a red card or an injury. And so you can just take it. You don't have to wait for lineups. It's great. And the beautiful thing about the shots market is they all. I mean, I say they all count. Obviously, we're kind of at the mercy of Opta, and Opta kind of.
Yeah.
Opta can be a dick about certain things
Oh, yeah.
sometimes. But for the most part, it's beautiful because a guy just pulls up, like, it'll be the lowest of low XG chances. Like Pellegrini's shot, his first shot today, 30, 35 yards out, and it goes nowhere near the goal, not even close. But you know what? He was shooting it, so it counts.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. And the fact that you can bet them in advance, like it's hard to bet shot props in advance because you don't know if the guy's starting, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm screwed because he might sub in late, and then I get the BS no voids, you know? Oh, there's a fight in the IX match.
Oh shit, let's go. We love a fight.
So dude, I'm so stoked. Like, you know, and I felt like I was relying really heavily on first half shots. Like that was like
I know I was. I know I
yeah.
was.
And so then I kind of felt, and you know this as someone who posts picks for people who tail them and they pay to tail. When you feel like one of your edges is gone, you're like, man, I feel like my value is going down a little. But dude, today was like a great day for that.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I mean, like, there was a bit of an adjustment period for me. I think it took it took a few weeks for me to kind of like figure it out. But like I lowered, like I had so, and like I said this at the time when I was going through all this. Like I just didn't, I didn't have as many 1 unit plays because I was just like, I know I'm adjusting, so I'm playing things lightly because we need to get the confidence back up. And so I got through that. I think I've only had, between now and then, I think I had 2 negative months out of like the 4 or 5 that it's been since then. So for the most part, I was content with that. And like the positive months were all like 20 plus units, whereas like my negative months were like 5 or 6 lost. So it's just like I'll live with that. It's all profit. It's profit long term at the end of the day. But I just said this in my Discord channel. I was just like, I can do it. I can, like, I know soccer, I know gambling. I can do very well without first half shots. But it's like writing with your weak hand.
Yes.
You can do it. You could do it.
Exactly. It's a great analogy.
It's just not the same. It will never quite be as good. And then like I literally just like, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I just entered flow state. I feel like I just like I like the market was back. I just like looked at it and I was just like, okay, Dybala minus 110. I don't want to take that. He ended up getting 2 anyway, but I was just like, not doing that.
Not worth it at minus 110.
Pellegrini plus 170 could do. And then I was just like, okay, Shmermadov, whatever he's called, plus 180 being the chalk, being the most technically like the least likely, quote unquote, out of the front 3 to get 2. When I know that this guy shoots, I was just like, okay, brilliant. For me, that's where the value is.
Yeah.
So I took him, and then he gets 2. And I was just like, brilliant. I mean, like, you could have gone with any of them at the end of the day. You could have gone you could have gone Pellegrini too.
What's funny about that too is like none of them looked like they were going to cash.
Yeah, it took a while. Like, Dybala didn't start like, asserting himself as like the guy that we know that he is until the last 5-10 minutes of the half. But it was just like I looked at the odds and I was just like, okay, brilliant. And I was like tempted by Porto props, but I was just like, no, Roma at home. I don't think Porto are going to have enough of the ball to get shots off. And sure enough, I think they took 2 shots in the first half, and they were both on the same sequence of play that they scored the goal on. It was Vieira who shot, and then Sam who scored a fucking sick bicycle kick. To be
fair.
That
bicycle sick,
gorgeous,
sick,
so good, and good for him because I think he hadn't scored in like 2 months. So that was like that was a much needed goal for him. But like that was the only 2 shots. That was the only 2 shots on the in the first half for Porto. So it's just like, okay, good. I locked in completely, and I was just like so fucking happy about it.
Yeah, I'm filled with joy, and IX just won, so I'm even more excited.
Let's go. Speaking of fights, there was a fight in the IX game. Speaking of fights, how hilarious! I'm going to start talking about the Champions League now because I can jerk off to first half shots being back, but it's time to stay focused. How hilarious was that guy who fucking tried to pick
Dude,
a fight at the end of the Atalanta game. That was so.
that was
I have never seen a head loss like that before, like in my life.
crashed out, bro. He crashed out.
He got nudged. Like, to be fair, he did get nudged, but then there's the fact that he gets so mad so quickly that he takes the ball, tries to throw the ball at the guy, but fucking fumbles it and misses, and then he just goes, "Fuck it, I'm committed," and just bulldozes him down.
Yeah.
I mean, so like the failed ball throw, the referee trying to grab him to stop him, and he just plows through the referee
Crashed
to go
out.
after this guy. Fucking hilarious. I mean, you're down 5-2 on aggregate, so I kind of get it, but I was just like, yo, this is fucking funny. It's
Dude,
so you can see on like the slow-mo replay how mad he is. Hilarious.
he crashed out. That whole game was insane. Like everything
Yeah.
that happened in that game.
I mean, what is going on with Atalanta? I feel like there are these teams have been like there are these teams that have like that started the season very well and looked really good and have now just kind of gone off the boil. And like, I mean, like vice versa, there are some teams that started kind of shakily and now look pretty solid in comparison. Atalanta definitely in the first bucket where I don't know what's going on with them right now.
They suck so bad now. It's weird too. Like obviously they missed Lookman, but like you have to like I don't know. You can't let Bruges just go down there and fucking score 2 on you at home. Like Lookman's not the reason for that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and it was wild too, because if you saw that the Ferran Juggler, whatever his name is, Juggler, something like that, his shot to make it 3-0 at the end of the first half was a shot taken with the confidence of a team that is up by 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah.
Like he fucking let it rip from outside the box, like an absurd volley that like you only take on if you are feeling yourself. And I mean, it was gorgeous. What a hit.
Beautiful.
Such a good game. That was a great game. That was a really great game to watch. And then the fact that the Atalanta manager just came out publicly and said Lookman's a fucking shit penalty taker. Yo, what's your problem, dude?
Dude, what's funny is I went and I went back to look at some of the Lookman penalties, and that dude does suck dick at taking penalties.
I know, but like it's the Stephen A clip where he's just like, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it.
Yes.
That applies here. Why, like, as a manager, you cannot throw your team, like someone on your team.
As a manager, you cannot do that.
That is a conversation you have behind closed doors and be like, yo, I mean, I don't know who their assigned penalty taker is because Retegui and CDK have both taken them.
Yeah.
But it's just like you take them to the side and be like, all right, why did you give the penalty to Lookman? Because apparently, now this is where they disagree. The manager, I think it's Gasperini is their manager.
Yeah, Gasperini.
He said that Lookman took the penalty. He said he wanted it, he took it. Lookman said, oh, the penalty taker, he didn't say who it was, which is like kind of sus, but he was just like, oh, the designated penalty taker gave the ball to me and said, you should take this. So it's like, we don't know what really happened.
Yeah.
But like, even so, that's a conversation you have in training and you'd be like, yo, I picked the penalty taker. Next time, take it. So unless whoever was supposed to take it didn't feel like they could take it, it's such a weird personal thing because you need to be you need the confidence to take a penalty.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling it, it's the smart thing to be like, I'm not in the right headspace for this. I can't take this. You should take it instead. Fair enough. But like, if you're gonna be like that, you shouldn't be the penalty taker.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pass up a penalty, because in a big game, because you don't feel up to taking it, you should not be the designated
Should
penalty.
not.
That's like you need to be able to step up every time, and it's just like how many guys that like will absolutely like Ronaldo will step up every time. Messi will always step up. Cole Palmer, I think, still hasn't missed a professional penalty yet. So like they'll always step up. Guys like that.
Yeah.
But like you need to have that confidence in yourself and just know that you can score. Otherwise, what's the point? I don't know. That was a hilarious. I mean, Atalanta sucking, hilarious. Look, I'm getting called out. Brilliant. Please come to Arsenal. We will never disrespect you this way. I feel like he's going to leave in the summer regardless, just because I personally would not forgive a manager for saying that shit about me. Even if they're right, Just the fact that you say it in public instead of behind closed doors in training is, if I was a player, that would piss me the fuck off.
Dude, you just can't say that.
No.
Like, you can't say that in public. Like, that's
No.
like, I get you're upset and you're frustrated,
crazy.
but dude, keep that shit behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And like that just solidifies the fact that he is gone in
Yeah.
January.
I mean, well, in the summer it's gone now. It's February now. He can't leave in January now, Brad. We're a month in up past the window. You said in January. Yeah. He's not leaving in January now. It's almost March.
in
the summer for sure. Yeah, no. In the summer, I would be shocked if he stays at Atalanta unless they throw a fuck ton of money at him. But I would just cash in.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? Speaking of hilarious collapses, I mean, Italian teams in general, but I'm going to talk about AC Milan now because that was embarrassing. That AC Milan, and if you didn't watch this game, fucking hilarious. Another hilarious when you just get completely undone by your own fuck up.
Yeah.
AC Milan in total control of this game. It's 1-1 in aggregate. You score in the first minute. Jimenez scores against his former club in the first minute. He does what everyone was on him to do at the first leg. They did fuck all. And everyone goes back to Jimenez for the second leg. He scores in 1 minute. Brilliant. You can't start this game better. Then Teo Hernandez gets a stupid yellow card for a dumb foul. And then he commits the most egregious dive in the penalty area and gets a second yellow and gets sent off.
The first yellow was stupid as hell too. And okay. I think we always talk about players like, oh, they'll learn from their mistakes. Like, this dude's fucking 27 years old. Like, fucking grow up and be a leader, dude. Like, first of all, they had every situation going for them correctly, right? They're tied on aggregate. They're dominating this game. You do not need to take a dive there. Just keep playing. Like, they're like, yes, there's literally like, I get if you're desperation mode, but there's nothing to be desperate about.
No, not in the first half. He got sent off what was it, like the 40th minute? I mean, 50th minute. Okay, well, it wasn't the second half. Okay. Gotcha.
But still, they had the whole second half tied on aggregate.
At home, you've got the momentum. I mean, PSV weren't even sniffing the goal. I think, and I'm annoyed because I think this is like one of the few bets I lost on that day, was I took PSV over 9.5 shots, and I was just like 10 shots. Even I was just like, I know they're winning on aggregate, but my guess is AC Milan are going to tie this up pretty quickly. Feyenoord. That's what. Yeah, not PSV. Sorry, I got my Dutch teams confused. Yeah. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to take over 9.5 because I'm expecting Milan to get back into this game at home pretty quickly. You're going to have to shoot. Okay, 10 shots, nice and low. You should be able to hit that. Everything that could have gone right for a shots game script happened. Milan score inside a minute, and then they get a red card. I think PSV ended with 6 shots.
So brutal.
And I was just like, look, fair enough. I was just like, I'll say if something's a bad beat. That was just, I got that wrong. Fair enough. But it just goes to show how dominant AC Milan were, who had about 17 or 18 shots, absolutely bossed the game before, and to a certain extent, after the red card. They still had momentum. And I don't know. The decision to dive there makes no sense to me.
0 cents. There's 0 reason to dive.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you what. I give massive props to the referees in the Champions League because you are not going to see in the Prem, in the Liga, where, in case you guys haven't listened, we've been complaining about these refs for a long time because for the most part, they're not very good. Some of the good ones, the good ones that get picked for Europa and Champions League, great. But no one in the Premier League, I don't think any ref has the balls to send off a player with a second yellow for diving. I don't think they would do it unless someone on Arsenal did it, in which case they would immediately get that second yellow and sent off. And, everyone would be like, you should follow the letter of the law, guys. You should follow the letter of the law. And be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I haven't got much to say to that. But it'd be nice if it'd be enforced correctly. But, no one's doing that. No one's going to give that second yellow for a dive. They just don't have the balls to do it. The guy in the Champions League, no qualms about it. It was just like, yeah, that was a clear dive, clearly intentional. Second yellow, you're off. Red card, goodbye. Brilliant.
Frustrating.
It's so refreshing that in so many of these Champions League and Europa games, we aren't talking about the refs. You find, whereas like in the Premier League, I feel like I'm talking about the refs every other week.
Every game.
And not just as an Arsenal fan. Like we were talking about Michael Oliver yet again after the Merseyside derby last week. Like I feel like we're talking about or in La Liga with Jude's absurd red card because he said fuck off instead of fuck you. I don't know. I mean, God knows what happened. Jude's from Birmingham. He's a mouthy little shit, and like I wouldn't be surprised if he said something dumb. But like, I've never seen a straight red given for dissent before. It's usually a warning or a yellow. I've never seen it. I've never seen someone, and he doesn't even look that mad. He's speaking fairly, he's not like that animated. And like, I've seen Jude get mad, he didn't look that mad. And then out of nowhere, the ref just calls him over and gives him a red card. And it's just like, where the fuck did that come from? I feel like we're talking about the refs in domestic leagues every single week, but it's nice to not have to talk about it in the biggest competition, which is just like, okay, yeah, thank God, that's how it should be.
I agree.
Yep. Anyway, that's the reality of this situation. Let's talk about this the Celtic Bayern game. I felt so sorry for Celtic.
Dude.
They put in a proper effort. And it's such a shame because I was just like I tweeted it out because I was like, I want to tweet it first before I see it tweeted at me. The fact that Celtic scored at the Allianz away from home in their second leg of a Champions League tie, but Arsenal couldn't last year. Very funny. Very funny. That being said, I think this Bayern team is significantly worse than the team last year. It's going to get swept under the rug because they're going to win the Bundesliga this year. But this is why I always say, usually because people are talking about Arteta when I'm saying it, that like exclusively trophy-based analysis is not good analysis. It's important, sure.
Yeah.
Do we all want to win trophies? Yeah, of course. But like, Ten Hag won an FA Cup and a League Cup with Man U. Does that make him a good manager? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. In fact, it actively fucked over Man U because they decided to renew his contract instead of letting him go. And then they had to pay, I think it was just released this week, that cost them 15 million in payouts to him and his staff after he got fired. And the only reason he got that renewal was because he won 2 trophies in 2 seasons, despite finishing at like what, 7th, 8th? I mean, not very good. Yeah. But he did well in a knockout tournament, so they were just like, oh, he won a trophy, therefore he must be good. It's like such a, it's not perfectly correlated like that. And the fact that Bayern are going to win the Bundesliga is just going to, really it's going to sweep under the rug the fact that they're not that good. Whereas last season, they were a good team. Yeah. But the reason they lost the Bundesliga was because Leverkusen literally didn't lose a game in Germany. So many people just like Bayern fell off. And did they not win a couple of big games? Yeah. Obviously they didn't beat Leverkusen. They had 2 chances to beat Leverkusen and they didn't. But like, they still got the point total thereabouts that would have won them the league in previous seasons. I feel like a lot of people just like let shit on Bayern for choking the league and weren't being like, let's credit Leverkusen for having one of the best domestic seasons in like the history of Europe. No one wanted to give Leverkusen their props, or at least they did, but they then couldn't understand that Bayern could also be good. Yeah. This Bayern team is much worse than they were last season. But no one's gonna say that because they're gonna win the league.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. Fair play, Celtic. You made an effort. I don't know what's happened to Kim, but since he left Napoli, he does not look good. I mean, he used to be like one of the top centre backs in the world. Now he looks like a shadow of his former self. Yeah, this whole Bayern team in general looks pretty pathetic. They're getting old. Kane is injury prone. They haven't got that many like young upstart guys that are ready to, Alphonso Davies, love him. And I'm happy. I felt bad for Celtic, but I'm happy for him. Just signed a new contract. Brilliant. Good for him. He's a baller. But like Kimmich out of contract in the summer. Müller Müller's about 40 years old. Neuer's about the same, It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. They made it through, so good for them.
Barely.
Yeah, I mean, we are. Who are they potentially going to draw? I think it's Atletico or Leverkusen in the Champions League. That should be fun.
The draw comes out
I
tomorrow.
mean,
I'm
like,
excited.
yeah, the draw.
Comes out Friday morning.
Comes out Friday morning, which is, probably by the time this gets released, either the draw will be ongoing or you'll know what the draw is by the time you listen to it. So, but obviously we're recording on Thursdays. We got no idea what the draw is going to be. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, we'll see.
Could you imagine if we have to watch 2 more legs of Leverkusen versus
Bayern? Yeah, I mean, like, at some point they got to want to score, surely. But like that would be the draw. I think. I mean, getting a Madrid derby, I think, would be worth watching those two teams, watching Leverkusen and Bayern play each other for another 2 times. Even though we've had back-to-back 0-0s, or was it 1-0 the first time? I forget. Or 1-1. I think it was 1-1 the first time. But then nothing happened in the second half. And then obviously the second game was 0-0. I got baited into betting the over because I thought the number looked good. It did look good. But then
I bet it live, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, we got fucked. But yeah, I mean, like, I want that. I feel like eventually that fixture will be good. But maybe it, well, I want to see the Madrid derby. I think that would be great over 2 legs. But I would be perfectly fine seeing Madrid against Leverkusen and Atletico against Bayern. Those are both very good. The fact that we're guaranteed some combo of those matchups is brilliant.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're guaranteed to get PSG against either Liverpool or Barcelona, which is fucking lit. I would love. I think the public. I think we deserve PSG against Barca. I think that game would be. I mean, we got it last year. Obviously, it was, looked like Barca's to win in the. I think it was the semi. It was either the quarter or the semi-final. Must have been the quarterfinal because PSG did not play in a Champions League final. But that was awesome. Those 2 legs were great. So I hope we get that again. It's just fun. I love the fact that Liverpool and Barcelona have come, first and second. Should be rewarded with, ideally the best draw. And of course, they've got a 50-50 chance of ending up with PSG, who I think finished 15th in the league table and now looks so much better.
Yeah.
PSG are definitely one of those teams. They looked shaky at the beginning of the season. Now they look very good.
They look like some freaking world beaters, bro.
Yeah. I'm excited. Whoever they draw, be it Liverpool, be it Barcelona, those 2 games over 2 legs, I think are going to be electric.
They're live.
Oh, yeah. That should be a lot of fun. Who else haven't we talked about? No, are PSG good now? Covered that. Benfica Monaco was a banger. It was a banger.
It was. Wait, what's funny?
I thought we were going to get that in the first leg. I should have bet both teams to score over 2.5.
Oh, there was a red card, right? Like, red cards always suck.
Yeah, that's
true. I bet over 3, and like, hindsight, I felt like I should have freaking hammered it. I was so confident in it, but I was like, the last leg sucked.
I took Monaco shots again. I was just like, this is the last chance, boys. And the line was 11.5, and it cashed nice and easy. It was the perfect game script for it, so I was very happy about that. I'll take that. Bad week for the Serie A. Yeah, Juventus lost.
Yeah. Shit team.
I mean, yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yildiz didn't start, which pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's just hard, like, when you bring a guy in, you're like, oh, come save us. Like, that's what they did with Yildiz and Vlahovic. Like, it's just so unlikely.
Vlahovic at the post in extra time.
Oh, I almost threw up.
They still played okay, I mean, again, shout out Tim Weah. The Americans are delivering in the Champions League.
Holy crap.
I just never thought, that I'd see, so many Americans playing on like the top stage in Europe. It makes me so happy. Like McKennie, I love Weston McKennie. He's such a versatile player. Like him and Valverde from Madrid are both so incredibly versatile. They can play center mid. They can do an attacking role. They can play as an outside back if they have to. Like Valverde played right back. McKennie has played left back for Juventus this season. Yeah. They're so versatile and they're so great. Like it's just, I love to see it. And McKennie scored a banger like a week or 2 ago. And Tim Weah is having a great week because over the weekend he had that like beautiful defensive run where he sprinted like half the length of the field to make this great recovering tackle, and then he just scored an absolute banger of a goal in the Champions League.
Dude, his passing has been freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like amazing.
He's turning into a really solid player, and it's a bummer because I feel like he's going to get played as a right wing for the United States, and Dest is going to come in as a right back. I wish they wouldn't do that. I was playing around with some mock lineups, and I would just love it if Weah played right back because he's so good at it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have Weah as your right back and Anthony Robertson as your left back, you have two like borderline world class outside backs for the United States, which is awesome. And it's not like America's lacking in attackers because you can play Pulisic on the right. I know he plays centrally or on the left for America, if like usually, but like you can play. He plays on the right for AC Milan. Play him on the right and have Weah at right back, and then you can play McKennie as like a. I was going to say like a not a false 9, more like a false 10 because it's going to be like a 4-2-3-1. But you know he'll probably drop into the midfield if he has to. You got him, you know, a healthy Tyler Adams, you know, Malik Tillman. There are some guys who've really like shown up this season, like Tillman especially.
Yeah.
You know, at a certain point, he had the most chances created in the entire Champions League. That's a guy I want starting for the US. So, but not to get sidetracked by my American dream here. We'll see how Poch handles the next break because, of course, you know, Pepe's now injured for the whole season. Balogun's still hurt. So we'll see how he lines up with this injury crisis sort of, you know, American team. But, you know, the World Cup's only a year away. So,
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Let's round up the weekly recap with the City Madrid game because that was beautiful to watch. What a game! Mbappe hat trick,
rashing.
Yeah, and like the fact that Madrid money line was -120, I'm annoyed because I ended up not taking it. And wildly, the odds got shorter in favor of City even after Haaland was ruled out. And like I think Madrid moneyline closed at like -110, -115.
Yeah. It was weird.
After Haaland on the bench.
When Haaland got ruled out, like I know that you know this, as someone who covers the EPL extensively.
Yeah.
It was not a foregone conclusion that he was going to get ruled out.
No, so honestly, I thought it was okay.
The fact that when he got ruled out, that the line didn't move, I was like, what do they know that I don't know? Right? Like It wasn't baked into the line. I couldn't change my bet, right? Because I literally gave this out on a TV, on a VOD, a YouTube show. Like, so I'm just like, if Madrid score first, I'm just hammering the living shit out of Madrid money line. And I'm just gonna, you know, take my L if City come back. But it was just BS, man. It was tough because I like with Haaland, I thought they at least stood a chance, but I think that took like the wind out of their sails big time.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they didn't look that good anyway. They had one shot in the entire first half.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm saying like we felt like when he got ruled out, like they probably were like, shit. I don't think he's playing this weekend either. According to Pep, the dude was struggling walking up and down the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this is you know, I feel like I keep saying this, but I'm so tired of people propping up Pep as this like elite manager. He's very good, and obviously he's changed the game tactically, but like. And you know, his substitutions and some of his decisions, especially in big games, baffle me. Like when City were playing Madrid last season, and I think when it was going to extra time, he subbed off Haaland and De Bruyne. What? Why? They can't have been that. De Bruyne I kind of get because he's getting old now and his fitness is not where it used to be. But like for me, if it's against Real Madrid, I'm putting my body on the line for
1,000%.
Because you just see it through. That's such a big game. You need your best players on the pitch. They did not have anyone comparable to handle, you know, to handle the replacement, to take on that, to fill the gap. So he's done that before. He's made so many strange subs where he's, you know, I mean, when Madrid famously came back, when Rodrigo scored his brace in like the last couple of minutes of extra time. Again, he took De Bruyne off early in that game too. I think because he assumed he'd won. It's so many like questionable decisions, and this all boils down to they're up 4-0 against Newcastle, and fair enough, hands up, we got that very wrong. Well played, City. That's a great result for them. But Haaland is still playing in like the 80-something minute.
Yeah.
Why is your elite striker still playing when you're up 4-0 and you play Madrid in 3 or 4 days? That's stupid.
Very.
He should not be on the field. Take him off. Get Marmoush in there. I forget if Marmoush started or not. Get Marmoush in there. Get James McAtee in there.
He started. Marmoush started, which sucks. So.
Yeah, okay. So just get someone else in there. Get Haaland off. You're up 4-0. Just put in another midfielder. He did not need to be in this game. And then it was like the 85th minute or something. And he like tweaks his leg stupidly. It was such a preventable injury. And I just, yes, you can't predict injuries, but you can at least do something and be proactive. There was zero need for Haaland to still be on the pitch when you're up 4-0 at home.
Yep.
Get him off the pitch.
Stupid.
I'm hesitant to say it's solely Pep's fault, but like a lot of it has to be on him. I cannot find a way to excuse that decision.
No, like you can't excuse it.
It's crazy. I don't know, but hey, I guess Pep's the best in the world. Whatever. Keep dreaming. Keep thinking that. Whatever. But yeah, they got embarrassed. They got absolutely embarrassed, and it was very enjoyable to see.
It's not enjoyable for my wallet. Well, technically, my wallet did okay, but my subscribers and followers' wallets did not do okay. It's really upset. Really upset. Yeah. This shit team put forth zero effort.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But as an Arsenal fan, I enjoy their downfall greatly. So I'm sorry. Sorry for laughing at their downfall.
It's all good. It's all good. We move on. I'm done betting on Manchester City this year. I'm done. Like any capacity, they're not getting my coin.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of moving on, let's talk about the weekend. We actually have 2 Premier League slates to talk about because somehow we're getting 2 rounds of games in before our next podcast episode. We've got the weekend, and then everyone's back playing again on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we've got 2 slates to cover, which is good because there's basically fuck all happening everywhere else. Let's start with the weekend games. All right, we have Everton against Man U. This is fun because I want to bet on Everton.
You should.
Everton at home. David Moyes coming back against his former club that he used to manage before he was unceremoniously booted out after being named as Sir Alex's successor. That's the word. I was like, what's the word for someone that comes after you? Successor. Named as his successor, fired after 6 months?
Yeah.
And now he's back at Everton, doing really well. Fair enough, hands up. This is something I got majorly wrong. I was so mad at Everton for firing Sean Dyche because to be fair, at the time, I thought he'd just been fired. I didn't realize that he was like, I think I've reached the extent of my abilities. Please fire me. I love that he didn't resign. He insisted on being fired so he could still get his payout. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like that they agreed to it. They were just like, all right, fair enough. We'll pay you your money. We'll do you that at least. So in hindsight, now that all the information's come out, fair enough. I respect both sides for how they handled it. They brought in David Moyes. David Moyes has now done really, really well.
Really well. Side, unbeaten in
I think David Moyes has more wins in his time as Everton manager than Amorim has as Man U.
I think he has. I think it's
something like 4 wins to 3 or something like that. And Amorim's been in charge since November. So, hey, hats off. I think Everton Tino bet is minus 130. I got to go double check that.
Yeah, dude, it's a good price. I saw it minus 125 earlier this morning.
Beautiful. I mean, that is just brilliant. It's really hard not to think about playing it that way.
This freaking United team can't score, right? Defensively, they're bad, right? Do you think they're going to score 2 goals? Because they're going to have to score twice, right? They're going to concede a goal. They're going to have to score twice to win. I just don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, I like both teams to score, honestly, mostly because it's minus 118. And can Everton keep a clean sheet? Yeah, if Pickford turns into like Neo from the Matrix, which he can always do, then yeah, they could absolutely keep a clean sheet. But Everton defensively can be a liability. It's not like Everton are known for their defensive record. Pickford obviously is a great goalkeeper, but it's really just like Everton aren't consistent defensively. When they're good defensively, they will keep a clean sheet, or they can concede 3 or 4. There's like no in between. So the both teams to score does tempt me around minus 118, but also Everton Tino bet. Yeah, it's down minus 124 on FanDuel.
Yeah,
like at home in the form that they're in, that is incredibly tempting.
it's super tempting. Like I've been staring at it literally for the better part of this morning.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. I also took Garnacho first half shots because one, I'm excited. This market is back. It makes me happy. And two, it's priced so nicely. It's like I know Everton are like solid at defending, especially at home, but Garnacho rips from literally anywhere. And Everton aren't the type of good at defending where they stop you from shooting. They're not like Arsenal, who will just like have like 70% possession, so you literally don't have the ball with which to shoot. Everton can just like weather the storm. But weathering the storm usually means letting up a bunch of shots. They're pretty middle of the park when it comes to shot defense. Garnacho, yeah.
And they give up a ton of
200.
possession too.
Yeah, he's 200 plus 200 for 2 first half shots and plus 700 for 3 first half shots. On a guy like Garnacho, that is like that's a must take for me.
Yeah.
So that I've took that, and I am very strongly considering the Tino bet, but I haven't made a decision on that yet. What are you thinking?
I lean Everton, draw no bet, but I just can't get there yet, man. And I think I've made good strong points. This is the 7:30 a.m. game, right?
Yeah, this is the early morning kickoff.
Oh my god! So I already know I'm gonna be like, I wake up for the gym at like 6, so that's gonna be perfect timing. I'm gonna be done with my workout, ready to go to the gym. I'm ready to go sit down and watch footy. I'm gonna fucking jam up and bet Everton draw no bet last minute. I already know it. I already know myself.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know if I'm going to be awake for it. Entirely depends on if I go out to sing karaoke on Friday night. Because if I do, then my chances of waking up for the early morning kickoff decrease exponentially.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, that's a great question. It is "Dancing with Myself" by Billy Idol.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a man of culture. I like my 80s music.
Hell yeah.
But that's a great song, and I guess I just like dancing. "Dancing in the Dark" by Bruce Springsteen is also an absolute.
Wow. Oh, you're hitting some bangers there. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was raised by my parents were children of the 80s, so that's the music I was raised on. That's that's what I like. Can't lie.
Let's see.
Those are just fun to sing. I'm not even that good. I just like getting up on stage and singing. Well, plus once you get a bit of booze in you, let it flow. But I feel like the correlation between doing like loving being on camera and recording content translates very strongly to enjoying karaoke.
Oh yeah, I love karaoke. I have a karaoke microphone at my house that you can bring on vacation. It literally has its own speaker built in.
Oh, okay. All right. Say less. You got the kit.
Bro, I love karaoke, man. Actually, fun fact, the show that I do every day for on Peacock, 90% of the time they ask me to sing a karaoke song.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's fun. All right, let's keep moving. We can't get derailed by talks of karaoke. Ipswich against Spurs. This is hilarious because Spurs money line is like minus 110. It's Ipswich. It's fucking Ipswich. And you're getting close to even money on a team to beat them. I mean, if you needed an example of how low Spurs have fallen, that's it.
If Tottenham cannot beat Spurs, Tottenham cannot beat Ipswich.
That's what happens is Tottenham does beat Spurs. That's the problem.
Everyone, I am on Tottenham money line at even money, and I'm on their team total over 1.5. I blocked it at minus 132. It's minus 140 something now.
Yeah,
like enough. Those are two no-brainer bets that I'm taking, and like if they don't come through, I live with it. But dude,
yeah,
they like This is an Ipswich side that just fucking hemorrhages goals, right?
Mhm.
They've conceded a shit ton of goals in their last games. They've only not won, so they've lost 62% of their home matches. Like, come on.
Yeah, here's the problem. It all depends how they approach the game because they parked the fucking bus against Arsenal, and Arsenal only managed one goal.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
that was,
but I don't think they
but
parked the bus.
that was because after we went up 1-0, and thank God it happened fairly. I think it happened like half an hour in. We had so much confidence in our ability to possess and control the game that we didn't need a second goal. But a second goal would have been nice, yeah. But we contained their counterattacks, and at the end of the day, we were just like, okay, fine. If you don't want to push us, if you don't want to like take the risk to get back in this game, then we will just control the game. Spurs can't control the game. Like they're physically unable of doing so. It's not going to happen. They're not a team that can keep 60, 70% of possession and not give up a big chance to the other team. So even if Ipswich do park the bus and Spurs do go ahead 1-0, Ipswich are great at counterattacking.
Yeah, they are.
And they can absolutely find a goal on the break because Spurs will fuck up somehow. And then Spurs need to score again. And it's just a matter of can they? That's, it all comes down to can they? You know what I mean? Like I was so frustrated because I was watching the Spurs Man U game, and I was very happy with getting both teams to score over 2.5 and a goal in each half at -122. It finished 1-0, but they combined for over 3.5 XG.
They did.
I think both teams took like at least 18 to 20 shots each.
They did. I had both teams to score in a parlay. That's all I needed.
Yeah. I mean, Garnacho misses like a clear chance from just outside the 6-yard box. Like there were so many chances. Like don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was a really electric back and forth game. But, at the end of the day, they just didn't convert their chances. So it's just like, all right, it is what it is. On another day, that game finishes like 3-3. But you kind of just got to take it.
Fuck that stupid.
We'll see. I don't respect Ipswich defensively, so hopefully Spurs do well. I also landed Mattis Tell first half shots. I think 2 was like +165 and 3 was like +600. He was fucking ripping against Man U. I think he finished with like 7 or 8 shots total, something like that. Yeah. I mean, he was just ripping. He was like the new Timo Werner. He's Timo Werner, except he's slightly better at scoring.
Yep.
And agreed. You know what I mean? Like, but he's that kind of like spam shots until it works. And I love a guy like that. I don't give a shit if it goes in. In fact, I fucking prefer that it doesn't, so that you keep shooting. I mean, like if it does go in, I guess you want to score more, but like your team is winning, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
But as long, like the longer it stays 0-0 and you need that goal, the more you're going to shoot, and the more frustrated he's going to be. So I don't give a shit. He's a shooter, and as we all know, shooters shoot.
Yep.
So we'll see. Villa against Chelsea. Now, this is such an interesting one because I don't respect Chelsea right now. And I'm so annoyed because, of course, another one, I took both teams to score over 2.5 in the Brighton-Chelsea game. And what did I say last week? If this bet loses, it's losing not because of Brighton, but because Chelsea don't score. They need Palmer to turn up. Palmer didn't turn up. Chelsea didn't score.
And then Metal got hurt, and then it was like even worse.
Yeah. So, like, I still don't really respect Chelsea. But Villa, whenever they come off a midweek game, are like so bad, are like horrifically bad. Like when they've been doing pretty solid in the Champions League, but I think in the Premier League game, the weekend that directly follows their Champions League games, horrible. I think they have like 1 win out of like 8. They lost to Wolves, I think, the following weekend. I don't have all the results in front of me, but they are like statistically incredibly bad at handling that midweek. They've just not been able to figure out how to balance 2 games in a week. And to their credit, they focused on the Champions League game. Now, they didn't play Champions League this week, but you know what they did do? They played Liverpool. Do you know what they did do? They played very well against Liverpool, handled their midweek game. Very good result. Fair enough. That's 2 points drop for Liverpool. Now, that usually means that their weekend game is not going to be very good. So I'm hesitant to say Chelsea are back, but I do think this is a decent spot for them. And to no one's surprise, I took Cole Palmer shots without Madueke, without Nicholas Jackson, without like who's left in this team that's going to shoot. it's going to be like Nkunku, and even then, Nkunku's not getting the ball unless Palmer gives him the ball.
Exactly.
So, the fact that Palmer 2 first-half shots is above even money, I think it's like plus 115. Yeah, he should be getting 2 at least.
Brick that game.
But I'm excited for this
both
game.
teams to score in a parlay. I mean, I just have to.
Yeah, I mean, Villa are scoring. They're like
Villa's
this new
scoring.
attack with Rashford, Asensio, Rodgers, and Ollie Watkins. That's a great front four.
They don't keep clean sheets either, right? Like,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Newcastle against Forest, a fascinating one because Newcastle are at home and their money line is like minus 120 or minus 125.
Yeah.
Now we've been trapped before. Just a week ago, we said, what a great Newcastle line. And then, of course, they got smacked 4-0. But
yeah, they did.
Nottingham Forest aren't Man City. And I'm not even saying that in like a way to like gas up Man City. One could argue that right now Forest are better, but I don't give them the same respect that I give to a certain degree Man City. I think Man City are bad, but I at least allot them some respect. This feels like a game where Newcastle should win.
I'm taking both teams to score. That's another leg of my parlay.
Fair enough. I'm guessing it's not good enough to take straight.
Oh no, it's like minus 260 or something.
Gross. I tell you what though, Chris Wood to take one shot in the first half was like minus 155.
Oh my god.
It's very tempting.
Might have to.
But I just don't want to fuck around because Newcastle could just keep all the possession. He might not even see the ball. So
like, in that game, I literally hope that Forest score first, like within the 5th minute. And then I can just unload every penny I own on Newcastle first half corners.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like what happened last year when they played each other. And dude, I was like, take this money to the bank, bro. It was a freaking banger, bro. It was sick. I think it was like minus 1.5 first half. And I don't know, I'm talking on the side of my neck, but it was a really nice win. I think they won by like 6, maybe 6 or something like that. It was sick. I'm gonna have to look it up because I now want to know.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to take Newcastle money line, but I think this will just end up being a game where I just don't really touch it. I think I just want to watch it play out. We'll see.
5. They had 5 corners in the first half. That's what it was.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. And then, of course, the big game to round off the weekend is Man City against Liverpool. Now, this is fun because Liverpool's money line is like plus 135. Yeah, I mean, their tie no bet is like almost bettable, I think. Not quite. I think it's like minus 160. But like, I mean, even just half a unit on them to win the game.
Freaking
right? It's
the 2 teams that I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot figure either of them out when I bet on them.
I know. And I feel bad because I've sent Liverpool money line twice now this season where it's been bettable. One was against Newcastle away from home, and one was against Villa this week.
Yeah.
And both times they drew. And I have no regrets about taking the money line. I'm just like, it's a must-win game. You got a superior squad. You should win this game if you're serious.
Yeah.
They failed both times. I feel bad because I just can't help but be happy because I'm an Arsenal fan. I can't help but be happy because I love seeing them drop points. But it's very difficult to explain to people, no, I promise this isn't an emotional hedge. I'm not just doing this so that I have some kind of upside if Liverpool don't drop points.
Yeah.
I think it's a good bet. I would not put like $100 on it if I didn't. But like, again, this is just like I'm not going to do like a full unit. But
yeah.
I think half a unit on their money line at plus 130 is so tempting because I just saw City get absolutely eviscerated.
Destroyed.
But who knows? I do think the cracks are starting to appear in this Liverpool title charge. Now, don't let them change the narrative. Remember, this league is Liverpool's to lose. Don't let them start changing shit.
You could feel it happening. Well, Sam, today on Bet US Shaw was like, it kind of feels like Liverpool are trying to do whatever they can to let Arsenal creep back up inside it, man.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, look, I don't want hope. It'll frustrate me. Liverpool drop points because it's just going to give me hope. But like we don't have a fucking striker. We've got Mikel Merino as
Yeah.
our striker right now. Like, come on. This why when Liverpool are starting to show cracks, and I knew they would start to show cracks. Why do we have so many fucking injuries? I hate this. Please, Saka, just come back. I need you back expeditiously. Please come and save my team. Luckily, Nonieri is cooking in the meantime. I fucking love that kid. Good for you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he is.
But yeah, I think I'm going to take Liverpool money line there. We'll see.
Oh, you talk
But then,
yourself into it?
yeah, I think so. I think for half a unit, I think, I'm not going to go full unit, but plus 135, that's really, I don't think you'll see odds on Liverpool like that all season unless they get matched up against someone absurd in the Champions League. I was going to talk about Forest Arsenal, but I don't really feel the need to talk about that. Mostly Spurs and Man City, I think could be really fun. And again, I mean, if Man City are bettable, I really want to take them, but I just don't know. Both these teams fucking suck. So God knows. But the really exciting game midweek is Liverpool Newcastle because we get that rematch. But I don't know if Newcastle are going to bounce back. I fucking hope they do, but God knows. We'll see. Maybe I'll get tricked into betting Liverpool again.
They'll win. They'll have to win for you, man. They'll win just for you.
Who, Liverpool or Newcastle?
Liverpool. No, I don't trust Newcastle.
Fuckers. Yeah, well, we said that last time, and they drew 2. Yeah, I mean, fuck. Who knows? Who knows? Do you think Liverpool will still win the league, Brad? I feel like I've got to keep asking you this.
Yeah,
every
I think
so
they
often.
are. I think they are.
Okay. I'm very excited to see if that answer ever changes. It shouldn't, because Arsenal are not going to win this league. It shouldn't change, but it's fun to keep asking you because I feel like I sense every now and then the confidence is just creeping it down ever so slowly. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Alrighty, let's get out of England and let's cover very briefly some of these games that are happening elsewhere in Europe. Bayern against Frankfurt. I don't really have much to say about this game. I just think Bayern are going to skull fuck the living shit out of this team.
Actually,
I like Frankfurt. But like, okay, put it this way: one or two things are going to happen. Either Bayern are going to rip like 30 shots and like score like 4 or 5, or they're going to keep looking fucking pathetic, and Hugo Ekitike is going to walk all over them.
Yep.
We'll see. But that was a really unconvincing performance against Celtic. So I feel like either you company better fire a rocket up their backsides and talk some shit into them, or he's just going to prove that he still fucking sucks as a manager. We'll see. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, man. I think Frankfurt matches are going to be fun. Are normally fun. Probably both teams scoring over 2.5. But this could be just a bad spot for Frankfurt, right? Like, just go out there and just get blessed.
Yeah, I'm very tempted to back Bayern. When I say back, I mean I think they're going to win. When it comes to betting, very different matter. The lines are probably absolutely awful. Yeah, they're minus 410 to win the game. All right, it's like okay, cool, good for you, I guess. Outside of that, not really much else to talk about in the Bundesliga. Serie A. I've got a Serie A game for you, Brad, as our resident Serie A expert. Como against Napoli. This one's fascinating because the lines on Napoli feel disrespectful. So I either need you to talk me into them or tell me why I shouldn't be looking at Napoli money line at plus 120 or both teams to score at minus 112.
Oh my God. Everything says you should bet Napoli, but they just keep finding ways to blow it. Like either they concede and they have to fight to get back, or they're up and then they concede late. I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, I mean, so many of these lines look so tempting. You got Napoli money line at plus 120. Both teams to score at minus 112. The over 2.5 at plus 116. They're all so tempting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like a trap, but like I feel like Como can score.
I'm
I
surprised
feel
they
like
both
Napoli
can score because Como literally score all the time now.
Yeah, fair enough. Especially if Nico Paz is playing.
Yeah.
Young bowler.
I need my books to start adding his props. I'm getting pissed not being able to bet him.
Do you think Nico Paz is going to go back to Madrid? Do you think Madrid are going to use that buyback clause?
I think so.
for 10 million or so. I think it's like it started at like 7 or 8, and then like next year it goes to 10, and then next year it goes to 12 or something like that. Like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, could you say for sure that like Brahim Diaz is better? Like, no, I couldn't say that for sure.
No.
I feel like the ship's kind of sailed on Brahim Diaz. That being said, I wish Adegula would play more. So I don't know.
Adegula needs to definitely play more.
Like, if there's one position that they don't like need more players in, it's center mid.
Yeah.
But Luka Modric is not going to be around forever. I feel like Modric has played a lot more than he probably expected to this year, just because of the injuries that they've been suffering. But, you know, is Nico Paz better than Dani Ceballos? Maybe. Who knows? Dani Ceballos, I don't really like him, but I tell you what, he's done a fairly decent job at stepping in when he's been called upon.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
Fair enough.
He's a good squad player. So I guess we'll see. And then I tell you what, before we wrap up here, Brad, we've got a couple of bangers over in France. These are the fixtures that you I wait for, because if they're not happening, then there's nothing good going on in France. We've got Lille against Monaco, and we have Lyon against PSG. Like, those are like, and all it's missing is Marseille. Like, those are the teams that you need to be playing each other to have a decent game going on. Let me talk about PSG very briefly. PSG moneyline, and I haven't even shopped this around, but on FanDuel it's -150. I mean, like, PSG moneyline, and like, okay, let me just throw in over 1.5 goals. Brilliant. Now it's -115. You'll never see props like that on PSG.
Yeah.
Like ever. Are Lyon good? Yeah, sure. Are PSG amazing right now? Also, yes. It's really hard to pass up those odds on PSG. And then Lille, Monaco, I think both teams score over 2.5. I love both those teams. I love. Neither of them can defend. Jonathan David, and then Monaco have just like a variety of ballers. Ben Shakir, Akliouche, plays up top for them now. I mean, even Minamino, the ex-Liverpool guy. They've got so many guys. They're like I feel like I said this last week, but they're like the Brighton or the Bournemouth of League. You know? Just so many solid attackers.
Yeah.
Just like it's so hard to bet player props because it could be any of them, but someone's going to turn up on the day. Alrighty. Did you have any other games that you wanted to talk about before we wrap up?
No, sir.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Well, that was a good, productive sesh. Look at us. We even kept it at just about an hour. Look at us go. We're making time.
Great.
We detoured about karaoke, but hey, we can't be perfect. Brad, anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, follow me on X at MrBradThomas, NBCSports.com for the Premier League power rankings.
Nice.
Effect, so.
We love the power rankings. You guys can follow me on Twitter at FIFA Brit. And if you haven't signed up for Gold Boys, you can do so at goldboys.com. Thank you very much to the Gold Boys Network for continuing to let this podcast do all the silly things that we do. And if you're not following the podcast, follow us. Leave a 5-star review if you're feeling generous. And please stick around. If you're a new time listener, please listen again. If you've been listening for a long time, we love you very much. Please continue to do so. We appreciate the support. Brad, I will catch you next week. And to everyone listening at home, best luck with all your bets. And we will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.